Hi everyone and welcome to this video, the last in this series on getting to grips with grammar. In this video, we will be going through some worksheets that are free for you to download and complete. If you haven't already done so, go to the link in the description, download the worksheets and have a go at them. Each one is based on a video from this series, so please do watch those videos and complete those worksheets before watching this one just to get the most out of it. In the previous 4 videos, we've seen what a sentence has to have to be grammatically correct, a subject and a verb. We've also seen what role nouns, adjectives and adverbs play in bringing language to life. And we've seen the role of those small but important pieces of English, pronouns, prepositions and articles. So let's begin by going through worksheet number 1. Worksheet number 1, verbs. Question 1, which of these words are verbs? So remember from our video, verbs are words of action, doing or being. So what we're looking for here is something happening. And we can see straight away that we've got one here, climbing. We've got cooking, is a verb. Window is a noun. Nothing is happening with that window, so that's not a verb. Flowering is a verb. You're going to see a pattern here with ing. Flower is a thing, it's a noun, it's not a verb. Growing is a verb. Growth is the noun form of growing, so that's not a verb, that's something that has already happened. And eating is a verb. Okay, can you identify the subjects in these sentences? So remember, a sentence has to have a subject and a verb to make sense. If you find the verb, it's really easy to find the subject. So we look at this first one. By the edge of the thick, dark woods, the old haggard woman stirred her large black cauldron carefully. Now there's a lot of information there. There's a lot of description. But we can see that the verb here is stirred. This is the thing that is happening. This is telling us where, and this is telling us what. But this is the verb, stirred. So in order to find the subject, we just ask the simple question, who is doing that? And here it is the woman. Over the hill, beyond the lake, past the small gathering of trees, a tall man rides a horse cloaked in black. Again, we're looking for the verb here, and it's this, the horse riding. That's the verb. So the subject has to be whoever is doing that, and we notice here that it is the man. Bullying is one of the worst things that can happen to anyone. We know that a subject doesn't necessarily have to be a person. It could be a place, it could be a thing, it could be an idea, and here it is that bullying is one of the worst things that can happen. Is your verb, so bullying is our subject. Number 3, identify the auxiliary verbs in these sentences. So we know that an auxiliary verb helps and supports a main verb in a sentence. We know that they are usually words like was, is, am. So in this first one, my hair was growing so quickly that I had to get it cut. The main verb here is growing. That's what the hair is doing. The hair is the subject, growing is the main verb. But we notice that there's another verb here. This is the auxiliary verb, and it's was. There was no way of knowing he was going to give up. Again, he was going. Going is your verb and was is your auxiliary verb. Every time the doorbell rings, the dog is going to bark. Again, going, just like this one, is our main verb. Is our auxiliary verb. So an auxiliary verb supports a main verb. Number 4, can you identify the main verbs in these sentences? Despite all the issues and challenges, the government implemented a clear plan. Okay, so the main verb here is implemented. Climate change, although we're not all in agreement about what it is still the biggest danger facing this planet. Okay, so is our main verb. Climate change is the subject, is our verb. Remember, a verb is a word of action, doing or being. Throughout it all, I knew it was all going to be okay. Okay, and knew is our main verb there, the main thing that's happening. Number 5, why are the following sentences not grammatically correct? The house at the end of the road, laughing hysterically in the night, he going to be okay in time. Now, the house at the end of the road is not grammatically correct because it's a subject without a verb. We don't know what is happening. We don't know if the house at the end of the road is surrounded by police cars. We don't know if the house at the end of the road is frightening. We don't know if the house at the end of the road was the place where the party was on. But we have something missing. We have a subject but no verb. Laughing hysterically in the night. So we have the verb here, laughing, but we don't know who's doing it. We don't have a subject doing that verb. And in the last one, he going to be okay in time? Well, that's missing an auxiliary verb. It needs to have he is going to be okay in time. Okay, number 6, this is up to you. You need to write a sentence on each of those topics, and in that identify, using highlighters or labeling the sentence, subject, main verb and auxiliary verb. Now if you want, you can do those in the comments and I will happily look at them and give you some feedback on them. Okay, let's look at worksheet number 2, nouns. Okay, question 1, what are the 5 different types of noun? Well, that is common, proper, possessive, collective and abstract, in any order. Question 2, which of these is not a common noun? So we've got a collection of words here and there's a little bit of a clue in how they are laid out. We know that a common noun doesn't have a capital letter, whereas a proper noun does. All of the top level except for Tom, are common nouns. They are things, they are not specific. It could be any table, any chair, any chef, and any bucket. Tom is a name of a specific person, so it takes a capital T. Similarly, garden, school, and robot are common nouns, whereas Bank of Ireland and Mr. Tiddles refer to specific things. Let's look at number 3. Which of these statements describes why a proper noun gets a capital letter? Because it comes at the beginning of a sentence. Because it's something important and deserves a capital letter. Because it's specific, while a common noun is one of many. Because I thought it should go there. Well, we know, having watched our video, that this is the answer to that question. Because it's specific, while a common noun is one of many. Question 4. How do we create the possessive form of a noun? By adding S at the end, by adding apostrophe S, by changing the other word and putting an S at the end. You don't have to do anything. Again, remember our example from video number 2. Dan bike is really fast, or Dan's bike is really fast. We have to add an apostrophe S to indicate possession. Finally, are collective nouns plural or singular? Well, we know that they are singular. They may refer to many, but they are singular nouns. So for example, in our video, we saw the wasps are coming through the window is different to the swarm of wasps is coming through the window. A swarm, even though it refers to many, is a singular noun, whereas wasps themselves are plural. Okay, let's look at worksheet number 3. Adjectives and adverbs. Which of these words could be used as adjectives? Beside, yellow, shop, dangerous, huge, small, going, blue, table, quickly. Okay, so what we need to remember here is that an adjective describes a noun. It gives us more information about a noun. We know that a noun is a person, place, or thing, and so we need words here that could refer to a person, place, or thing. Beside is not. We're going to see what that is in the next worksheet. Yellow is an adjective. Shop is a noun itself. Dangerous is an adjective. It describes something. Huge, similarly, and small. Going is a verb. Blue, like yellow, is an adjective. All colours are adjectives. Table is like shop. It's a noun, so it's not an adjective. And quickly, well, that's an adverb. We're going to see about those in a minute. Question 2. Can you identify all the adjectives in the following sentences? The best part about going to the beach is getting to eat delicious cold ice cream. Well, what we're going to do here is we're going to pick out the nouns, because we know that an adjective has to describe a noun, and there are 2 nouns there. Beach and ice cream. There are no words describing the beach, and so we have to look at the words describing the ice cream. Delicious and cold. Both of these are adjectives. I don't want anyone to know that I've got an old tattered suitcase full of money. Well, there's 2 things here, the suitcase and the money. There are no words describing the money, describing its colour or its weight or anything like that. And when we look at suitcase, we see that there are 2 words describing the suitcase, old and tattered, and both of these are adjectives. The yellow sun dipped lazily below the blue water and out of sight. Again, we've got 2 nouns here, sun and water. We see that the yellow sun and the blue water are both described in a little bit more detail, and both of those words are adjectives, yellow and blue. Okay, so number 3. Which of these words could be used as adverbs? Cautiously, quickly, uncertainly, every day, since, thoughtfully, yesterday, suddenly, orange, fly. Well, all of these across the top line could be used as adverbs, because we know that an adverb describes how a verb is done. And these 3, thoughtfully, yesterday, and suddenly, can also tell us when a verb or how a verb has been done. These 2, however, cannot. Orange is a noun, and fly can either be a verb, to fly, or it can be a noun, a fly. Okay, number 4. Can you identify all the adverbs in the following sentences? The bus thundered recklessly through the streets. Well, we find our verb first, and that is thundered. Recklessly describes how it went about that, so recklessly is our adverb. The president cautiously signalled his displeasure with the decision. We see that the main verb here is signalled. That's what the president is doing, just like the bus is thundering. Cautiously tells us how he did that, so cautiously is an adverb. If I'm going to do it, then I'm going to do it well. Okay, and well there refers to how it is being done, so that's your adverb. Now, these last 3 questions are all down to you. Use adjectives to improve the sentences in question 5, use adverbs to improve the sentences in question 6, and then write a paragraph using both adjectives and adverbs inspired by the picture of a keyhole with light coming through. If you want some feedback on your paragraphs or your sentences, put them in the comments and I can take a look. Okay, last worksheet, number 4. Pronouns and prepositions. Question 1. How could you use a pronoun to improve the following sentences? This one is down to you. If you would like to put your versions of these sentences in the comments, I'm happy to take a look and give you some feedback. Question 2. Which of these descriptions best explains when to use a pronoun? To take the place of a collective noun, when you want to change and you're bored. To take the place of a possessive noun. To take the place of a common or proper noun. To take the place of any noun. And we know from our video that it is in fact to take the place of any noun. Which of these words are prepositions? Over, under, inside, outside, next to, behind, in front of, above. Well, we know that they're all prepositions because what these words are doing is they're indicating the position of something. Question 4. Can you identify all the prepositions or prepositional phrases in the following sentences? I've got to be there on time because I'm meeting them at 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock is our prepositional phrase in that one. Can you collect my keys? I've left them on the kitchen counter. On the kitchen counter there is our prepositional phrase. And the final one, there's no time left. Put your tests on the desks in front of you. And we've got 2 prepositions here. We've got on and we've got in front. Question 5. Can you identify all the pronouns and prepositions in the following sentences? Under all of his bravado, it's clear that Jason is actually really insecure inside. Okay, so we've got a preposition here. We've got under. His stands in for Jason, so that is a pronoun. It refers to what he's keeping. It is a pronoun. Inside is a preposition. I, pronoun, didn't want to go outside, preposition, but my friends made me is a pronoun. And looking back now, it, going outside, his friends making him go outside, it is a pronoun, was the best thing they could have done. They, standing in for friends. The accident was awful, but the only thing that we can say about it now is that we're over it. So it is a pronoun, over, preposition, and it is a pronoun standing in for the accident. So these things that we've looked at in this series and these worksheets are the basics of English grammar. The next step is to look at clauses and sentences and phrases, as well as the structure of sentences. That's all covered in my playlist on improving your writing, and the link is in the description below. In later videos, I'm going to teach you how to read analytically, how to identify a writer's viewpoint from the language they choose, and how to write for different purposes. I hope that you found this series useful, and if you haven't subscribed already, then please do. Please also feel free to include examples of your answers from the worksheets in the comments below the video. Feel free to like and to share.